नैते श्रुति पार्थ जानन योगी। नैते श्रुति पार्थ ज्ञानम।
नहीं, श्रुति पार्थ जानना।
योगी मुह्यति कश्चन।
No, you mustn't question. No.
Everybody can unmute and say after me. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु
तस्मात्
तस्मात्
सर्वेषु
सर्वेषु कालेषु
कालेषु
योगयुक्तो भवार्जुनः।
योगो युक्तो
योगयुक्तो
भवार्जुन।
भवार्जुन।
Read the translation.
Translation: Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. Purport: Krishna here is advising Arjuna that he should not be disturbed by the different paths the soul can take when leaving the material world. A devotee of the Supreme Lord should not worry whether he will depart by arrangement or by accident. The devotee should be firmly established in Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna. He should know that concern either either of these paths is troublesome. The best way is to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness, is to be always dovetailed in his service, and this will make one's path to the spiritual kingdom safe, certain, and direct. The word yoga yukta is especially significant in this verse. One who is firm in yoga is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness in all his activities. Sri Rupa Goswami advises um, na, na sak,
आसक्तस्य
yeah.
विषयान् योग sorry यथार्थम् उपयुञ्जतः.
One should be unattached in material affairs and do everything in Krishna consciousness. By this system, which is called Yukta Vairagya, one attains perfection. Therefore, the devotee is not disturbed by these descriptions because he knows that his passage to the supreme abode is guaranteed by devotional service.
So those devotees, those who know these two paths. Okay, let us read this. What he's saying. Today we are doing 27, right? Devotees remain unconcerned about these two paths because their attention is focused only on devotional service. Simultaneously, their understanding of the adverse consequence of engaging in devotee activities, as outlined in text 25, serves to intensify their commitment. The final verse in this chapter underscores the knowledge that fixes a devotee on the path of. So one thing becomes clear here. See, yesterday, no, another day, I was having discussion with Aryaprabhu. Aryaprabhu, can you tell me about your question and what we discussed in the car? The first question which you asked. Aryaprabhu?
Hare Krishna on Sunday?
Yeah. When you were doing the car, the first question you asked, something related to Gita, remember?
Oh, yeah. I asked, the conclusion of the Gita is obviously to come to Bhakti Yoga and to come to Krishna consciousness. But throughout the Gita is littered with reasons why you should come to Bhakti Yoga and why it's the highest path and why, Krishna is the supreme. So I think that my question was, is the conclusion more important than the reasons, or like do they hold the same importance or anything like that?
What was the discussion later? What was the answer?
The answer was, the reasons deepen our faith, but the conclusion is the ultimate goal. But the reasons are something that deepens our faith and helps us understand more and gives us more confidence behind the idea of what the conclusion is, Bhakti Yoga.
And as Bhujabu is writing, one also becomes more committed to this path because he understands that the incompleteness of other paths. So that gives us more regard to what we are practicing. So it induces more commitment from our end, to the path which we are following. And also, it also safeguards us, from other um, paths, distraction to other paths. The reason because we all have certain bijas, tendencies to go for another path. So there is some leaning is there. Like there is leaning towards karma kanda, there's leaning towards yoga, there's leaning towards jnana marga, because we have been all this from previous lives, many lives. So there's some, and the seed form is there. So there can be a chance where we may get, we may tend to get distracted. So being aware of the incompleteness of other paths and superiority of Bhakti Yoga can also help us to safeguard ourselves timely, when we find certain tendencies lingering like that. So that is also important. That's why Krishna is, making it very clear, explaining different other paths, but he is making very clear conclusion here. You see that ultimately the path of devotion is what you should go for, Arjuna. Don't go for any other, don't get bewildered by other paths like that. So this is what Krishna is very clearly emphasizing here. Krishna is advising Arjuna that he should not be disturbed by the different paths the soul can take when living the material world. A devotee of the Supreme Lord should not worry whether he will depart by arrangement or by accident. So there are many devotees within ISKCON movement also. They have left their body due to accident, like Tamal Krishna Maharaj left body. Literal accident. Accident doesn't mean just accident of the motor car. It can be accidentally one may leave the body because of different reasons. So, but some devotees may get prior notice, and they may have devotees around doing kirtan and things like that. So, but we don't have to worry about all that because it's up to Krishna. The devotee should be firmly established in Krishna consciousness and chant Hare Krishna. That's our, the whole concern should be. And he should know that concern over either of these two paths is troublesome. So if you are dependent on other paths and then you are concerned about your salvation, then you always will have anxiety and you'll always be having the trouble. So the best way to absorb is to be absorbed in Krishna consciousness, is to be always doubtful in his service. So always when you're doubting all our energies and all efforts towards Krishna in his service, and then saying and this will make one's path to the spiritual kingdom safe, certain and direct. That means whole life, if we have eaten only prasadam. If we have walked to different places, we have only walked to those places which are favorable for our Krishna consciousness, which are the places of worship, or doing our duties that may be directly connected to Krishna or indirectly, which we are offering to Krishna. And if you have spoken, we have only spoken things which are helping us to elevate in Krishna consciousness, not something which is going to degrade us. And if we have dealt with people, we have only dealt, keeping Krishna in the center, not whimsically trying to inspire somebody, control someone. And if we have studied something or watched something, it's all related to something which is going to enhance our Krishna consciousness, not something degrade our Krishna consciousness. So like that, we have to live our life chaste to Krishna. So when we live life like that, doubting everything in Krishna, that's the meaning of making one's path to the spiritual kingdom safe, because you're doubting everything. So that's how you're absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So whatever a devotee does, it is done for Krishna. That is being absorbed in Krishna. So the two things. One thing is we have to do things which are doubted towards Krishna, that is for Krishna. And also we should also put our heart and consciousness that I'm doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. So sometimes one may do it with different motivations also. So that is because of mode of ignorance and passion. The motivation sometimes can pull one down in his consciousness, though he's doing for Krishna. Like for example, somebody may be singing the holy name, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He was singing in a very great way. But sometimes he may have some ulterior motivations. He may be just thinking to maybe get some praises from the audience, or he may want some kind of maybe donations so that people can be impressed and give some donations to him. Or he may want to just impress the opposite sex. Or he may just want to become famous. So there can be different motivations, right? So one has to also work on purifying one's motivation, because pure devotion service actually also has so much to do with consciousness. Sanyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anabhitam. Anukulya Krishna Shilam Bhaktiruttama. So we have to do activities for Krishna, which is connected to Krishna, which is doubted towards Krishna. But also we have to cautiously, we have to be conscious and cautious that we are not dragged by ulterior motives. Sometimes we may become very competitive. I will distribute more books than him because I want to prove that I'm better than him. No, say two brahmacharis can compete like that. Grasta may compete. I will bring. Last time just flow to Maharaj. This time I will get bigger car. Temple villain will choose my car only to get Maharaj. What this fellow understands. I will get Maharaj this time. So now he's serving Maharaj, but the motivation is to show, to compete. So Mataji may think, last time Maharaj ate from that Mataji's cooked food. Good. At this time, this Mataji is on some urgent work. I think Krishna arranged. Now I will cook. Now what? No, I will. Maharaj will eat from my cooked food only. Something like that. So having this kind of feelings is actually something ulterior motives. So that is problem. So of course, bhakti will also purify, but consciously we should also work on our consciousness. We are also offering our consciousness to Krishna, meaning we are doing it actually for the praise of Krishna. That also should be our matter of concern. So devotee has to be conscious and cautious. If I'm cooking food in home, for whom? Are you cooking food? Okay, I just cook food because I can eat and I can feed my family members. And because we have to offer it to Krishna, so we anyway offer it to Krishna and then we take it. But the thought of making it for Krishna may not be much. It is more that we have to just cook for ourselves. And then okay, I cannot take without offering to Krishna, so I will offer. So you understand that there is a subtle difference. So we have to also think of applying our consciousness towards Krishna, making our offering more and more pure. That is also important. Okay, so when it says the best way to be observed, okay, the word yoga yukta is especially significant in this verse. One who is firm in yoga is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness in all his activities. Sri Rupa Goswami advises anasukte rishyan. So whatever you do should be offered to Krishna. One should be attached in material affairs. One should be unattached in material affairs and do everything in Krishna consciousness. By this time it is called yukta vairagya. Therefore, the devotee is not disturbed by these descriptions because he knows that his passage to the supreme abode is guaranteed by devotional service. So by devotional service, we are everyone absorbed, then we can attain the supreme Lord. That is guaranteed. So I'll pause here. Any reflection anybody has? Let's hear from Robert. You have any reflection, Robert? Robert, you have any reflection?
Oh, yes, one of the when we were talking about earlier, I was looking at the symptoms, the karma and lobha are the symptoms of material existence. I was trying to understand that, and was trying to understand how that relates to then, I guess, bhakti yoga lets us to go beyond that. So that seems like a good goal to have to achieve more happiness, or to go beyond, I guess, the cycles of material existence.
Yeah. So on today's lecture, any point you have any reflection from today's discussion?
Yes, I was mainly just thinking about how bhakti yoga can enable transcending more and having that goal. But yes,
Bhakti yoga, how can?
Can transcend beyond the cycles of material existence using bhakti yoga, through bhakti yoga and devotional service.
Yeah, correct. We can transcend safely and securely. That's true. Yeah. So you're able to chant every day, Robert? No?
I had stopped for a little bit, but I'm trying to start again now. So
Yeah, Bhakti Yoga, one of the important thing is we chant the holy names.
okay, yes.
And you can always think of visiting temple on Friday night and Saturday morning. We have Mangalarti. Many boys are coming now nowadays.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so you can also be part of it. Many students come. So if you want Friday night, you can just take rest, and Monday morning you have nice program, Mangalarti.
Oh, nice.
Every week, at least once in a day, once in a week, you make a priority. Get exposed to Krishna, Krishna consciousness, do some intense devotional service, and then for 1 week you're free.
Okay, sounds good.
So I request you, Robert, because you're a sincere soul. I only think somehow you're not able to give time.
Yes, that's
So
true.
little bit, if you just prioritize now, you'll get a lot of benefit actually.
Yes. Okay.
I sincerely request you. You'll-
Hare Krishna. Thank
You're a
you.
good soul. I really feel so much for you that if you can just give a little more time, you will blossom like anything because you have core sincerity. You're looking for something higher. You're not just stuck in some kind of materialistic goals fully. You know that there is fallacy in materialistic goals, even though you may feel a little attracted and attached to it, but you know it's ultimately futile. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So such kind of souls actually have great future in devotion. I request you, you just give yourself, just throw yourself in the temple for 1 day. Friday night you come, Saturday morning you push off, 8 o'clock you push off, no problem. Take breakfast and push off.
Yes.
Just sacrifice of a day, not a day even, just from night
Like,
to morning, that's all.
yes, that sounds good.
Yeah, you can make a priority. That'd be great. Friday night you are free, no, usually.
Yes, usually Friday night. That's good.
So you can do that. Nice. Okay. I also do Friday at program at West 4. You know West 4?